Every nitrogen molecule you feed your rows after your region's hardening off cutoff is working against you, not a little against you, actively undoing the plant's own preparation for winter. And by the time you see the damage, it's 6 months too late. Today I'm showing you exactly why August feeding backfires, the real cutoff date for your zone, and the one exception that's actually fine. Let's get into it. The carbohydrate shift. Right now in August, your rose is quietly changing jobs. All spring and summer, it was pushing new growth. Stems, leaves, blooms, spending sugar as fast as it made it. But as day length shortens and nights cool even slightly, the plant reads that shift and starts redirecting its sugar somewhere else entirely. Down into the roots and crown, banking reserves for winter and for next spring's blooms. It's the same reserve system that decides how full next year's flowers will be. The plant is quietly starting its savings account for the year ahead. This is a hard pivot, not a gradual fade. The plant isn't slowing down evenly across every function. It's actively rerouting a limited budget, pulling resources away from top growth and pushing them toward storage tissue. And that's exactly why the timing of what you feed it matters so much right now. Feed heavily in this window, and you're not just adding extra nutrients on top of what the plant is already doing. You're fighting the redirection directly. Nitrogen sends the plant a keep growing signal at exactly the moment it's trying to wind down and bank fuel instead. Two opposite instructions competing for the same limited energy at the worst possible time of year to create that conflict. You can actually see this shift happening if you know what to look for. A rose still locked into growth mode keeps pushing bright new shoots and blooms fast, one after another, with barely a pause between flushes. A rose that's transitioning banks its energy instead. New growth slows down on its own, flowering paces itself, and the plant starts putting more visible effort into the base of the canes than the tips. That's not the plant struggling. That's the plant doing exactly what it's supposed to do in August, and heavy nitrogen is what interrupts it. Why nitrogen specifically? This isn't about fertilizer being bad. It's about nitrogen at the wrong moment. Nitrogen is the nutrient that drives soft, leafy, vegetative growth, new canes, new leaves, fast and green, cell walls thin and full of water. Compare that to potassium and phosphorus, which support root development and the toughening of existing tissue rather than pushing brand new growth. Very different jobs, and part of why a fall-formulated feed looks so different from a spring one. In June, that's exactly what you want because the plant has an entire growing season ahead to mature that tissue. In August, it's a problem because that soft new growth doesn't have time to mature or harden off before frost arrives. Hardening off is the process where new growth toughens its outer layer and reduces its water content to prepare for cold. And that process takes real time, typically weeks, that the plant simply no longer has once you push fresh, soft growth in August, instead of letting it use that window to mature what already exists. This is also why slow-release nitrogen doesn't get you off the hook. A granule still metering out nitrogen into October is still sending that keep growing signal well past when your plant needs to hear it. The cut-off date. So what's the actual date? In zone 5 to 6, stop all nitrogen feeding by the first week of August. If you're in warmer zone 7 or 8, you have a few extra weeks of season length to work with. Push the cutoff toward late August or early September. Colder zone 3 or 4, your first frost arrives sooner. So cut off in mid to late July instead. Southern Hemisphere gardeners shift the whole calendar 6 months. Your cutoff is the first week of February. If you're growing in containers rather than in the ground, move your own cutoff about 2 weeks earlier than your zone's date. Container soil cools and signals dormancy differently than garden soil, and roots in a pot have less insulation once real cold arrives. What happens at first frost? Here's what you're actually risking. That soft, late-pushed growth is full of water and hasn't built the protective outer tissue mature canes have. When the first hard frost hits, water inside those unprepared cells freezes, and as it freezes, it expands, forming ice crystals that physically rupture the cell walls from the inside. That's not a metaphor for damage. It's literal structural failure at the cellular level, and it doesn't stay contained to the tip. The dieback can travel down into the older, previously healthy wood beneath it, opening wounds that invite fungal disease and decay to move in and settle over the whole winter, undisturbed. And because this happens underground and inside the cane, out of sight, you often don't see the real damage until spring, when part of the plant that looked perfectly fine in November simply doesn't wake up. 6 months of silence before the bill comes due. Easy to blame the wrong thing entirely. A hard winter, a bad variety, poor soil, when the actual cause was a feeding decision made back in August. Compare that to a properly hardened cane going into the same frost. Its cell walls are thicker, its internal water content is lower, and it has far less free water available to freeze and expand in the first place. So the same overnight temperature that ruptures soft tissue barely registers on mature wood. Same plant, same frost, same night. The only real difference is what that particular section of growth was doing back in August. The one exception: there is one fall feeding that's actually fine, aged manure or finished compost, applied as a top dressing in late fall, well after the plant has already gone fully dormant. That's a completely different situation. It's low in immediately available nitrogen, releases slowly over months, and feeds the soil biology rather than pushing new top growth on a plant that's still awake and able to respond. Think of it as improving the bank vault itself, not making a withdrawal request. The plant isn't awake to respond to it with soft new growth, so there's nothing for frost to catch. A simple way to know you're in that window: wait until your first hard frost has blackened the leaves. That's your signal the plant has fully shut down for the season. What to do instead? So if you're not feeding in August, what should you actually be doing? Watching. August is an observation month. Check for pests and disease while the plant is still fully in leaf and easy to inspect. Note which varieties struggled most with summer heat so you can address that later, and keep watering consistently, since water stress and nitrogen are two very different things. Water doesn't push soft, frost-vulnerable growth the way nitrogen does. It just keeps the plant hydrated and healthy while it does its own quiet work. Redirecting sugar underground. It's also worth taking a few photos of each plant now, while it's easy to see so you have a clear before picture to compare against next spring, and it's a great window to plan, not do, your fall reserve building strategy, so you're ready to act the moment true dormancy arrives instead of scrambling to figure it out then. If you're used to a weekly or bi-weekly feeding habit and it feels strange to just stop, that's normal. Redirect that energy into observation instead of application. Walk the bed on the same schedule you'd normally feed on, but bring a notebook instead of a bag of fertilizer. You'll actually learn more about your plants in these few weeks than most of the growing season gives you, simply because you're finally just looking instead of intervening. If you want the rest of the Zone 5 to 6 seasonal calendar, subscribe. Every video in this system builds on the last. Back to it. The firmness diagnostic. Here's a 30-second test you can run today, standing right in your garden. Find the newest growth on your rows, the reddish or bright green tips at the ends of the canes, and gently squeeze a stem between your fingers. If it's still soft and flexible, bending easily without resistance, that's vegetative growth still full of water and vulnerable to frost. If it's firmed up, with a bit of resistance and a duller, more mature color instead of that bright new growth red or green, that section has already hardened off and is heading into winter safely. Walk your whole plant and check a few canes in different spots. Not just one. Hardening off doesn't happen evenly across a bush, and a plant can have some canes ready and others still lagging. If most of your newest growth still feels soft in mid to late August, that's a clear signal you fed too late or too heavily this season, and a cue to stop immediately, even if you already have. The recovery protocol. If you're watching this and you already fed in August, here's what to do, not panic. First, stop all nitrogen immediately. No more fertilizer of any kind this season. Full stop. That includes slow-release granules already down that you can't take back, so don't add anything further on top of them. Second, stop deadheading spent blooms for the rest of the season and let hips form instead. Seed and hip formation actually signals the plant to slow vegetative growth and shift its energy toward dormancy, working with you instead of against you. Third, ease off supplemental watering slightly as you approach your average first frost date, which encourages the plant to firm up existing growth rather than keep pushing new water-heavy tissue. You're not withholding water entirely, just backing off the extra encouragement to grow. You can't undo growth that's already happened, but you can stop making it worse and give what's there the best possible chance to harden off before real cold arrives. Most plants recover fine from one late feeding if you change course now. This is a course correction, not a crisis. One nutrient, one badly timed month, and damage you won't see until spring. That's the real cost of August fertilizer. If this saves you from a mistake you didn't know you were making, hit like and subscribe for the rest of the Zone 5 to 6 calendar. Next time, the fall reserve building routine that actually funds next year's blooms. What to do the moment true dormancy hits. Until next time, happy gardening.